Alright, beta's here. You want some first impressions? Here we go. So, the beta is the story mission, Homecoming, the Strike, the Inverted Spire, and 2 PvP modes and maps. That's really about it, with some loot drops, here and there. The story mission, the full mission, was great. It was a pretty long mission, sets the scene really well. The music was fantastic, lots of dudes to shoot at. Loved it. No issues with it at all. Great mission. The Strike was, the Strike. I've already kind of given my impressions on it, and the beta did not really change the Strike at all, and if it did, I didn't really notice anything. It is a very similar feeling Strike gameplay experience compared to Destiny 1. This Strike in particular is a little bit longer than usual, which is fine. PvP, also not too bad. I don't know if it's just me, but aim assist didn't feel nearly as tight as it usually did. There were some shots that I feel like I would have hit in Destiny 1, but I wasn't hitting here. Could have been the weapons, could have been I just don't PvP that much. However, I've noticed that I'm getting team shot way more often in Destiny 2. The amount of 1v1s that happen have been very, very few, at least compared to Destiny 1. Destiny 2 appears to be all about team shotting. With regards to control and this particular map, spawn flips are brutal, and you need to be hyper aware of when they happen so you don't get caught. Super, super punishing. As a side note, the pulse rifle in the beta is probably one of the best weapons overall. Hand cannon is also really strong. The 2 pulses are Nergal and Nightshade, both pretty darn good. Countdown played exactly how it played the last time I played it, much more of a competitive, get on the microphone and play with friends kind of vibe. Very fun mode though. Sentinel is really good. The super is really good. We might talk about this more in a future video, similar to the 4 subclass videos that I've already put out. But the super is versatile as hell, which is great. The blocking ability is really good to protect yourself while you close the gap or protect other people. The movement is high with the dashes. The health regen on kill is fantastic. One problem I had at the start was that I would accidentally pop Ward of Dawn because I held the buttons for more than a split second. If you want not Ward of Dawn, you just tap the buttons very fast. Tap. Anything longer and you are going to pop a Ward of Dawn. I didn't play too much Voidwalker, but the experience I had and the people that I've asked all kind of said the same thing. Yeah, it's Voidwalker. The Nova Bomb experience right now is a bit weird. A lot of people are used to the old Nova Bomb, and this Nova Bomb we have right now doesn't exactly feel like it's for the PvP experience, but it's been working all right. It just needs some more time with it. The biggest issues with the beta aren't with the beta itself, but rather are gameplay oriented, stuff that I didn't really notice the first time around. The first thing is, or was, health regeneration. Health regen in Destiny 2, as is, feels really, really slow, even with your gear having some recovery on it. As an attacker in PvP, this is good because if you get someone weak, you actually have a chance to follow up and track them down to kill them before they regen all of their health. The more common occurrence is a person sitting behind cover for what feels like an eternity, waiting to fully regenerate their health before they engage again. It takes a long time to fully regen. But I compared this to Destiny 1's regen rate, and in the one example that I did, they're actually pretty close. Here's a Destiny 2 hunter with 2 recovery, and a Destiny 1 hunter with about 3 recovery, and yeah, pretty close. So I guess this just might be that I'm used to rolling with a higher recovery rate, and I don't have that in the beta, but people I spoke to did have similar sentiments that health regen felt a lot slower, even if it wasn't technically that much slower. The second thing is with regards to super energy and ability energy generation. It is slow. Like, sometimes I don't even get a super in a match of PvP slow. If a game stays close and everyone is on equal footing, then you have this moment where in the last 45 seconds of a match, last 45 to 60 seconds, everyone is just in desperation mode to burn their supers as fast as possible, and it just turns into complete madness. Abilities are also really slow to come back, which makes them more meaningful, but also less meaningful depending on how you look at it. More meaningful because you don't get them as often, so you got to make them count. Less meaningful because you just don't get them as often, and they don't do that much damage. And to be fair, the community has asked for abilities to not play as much of a role in PvP, because in Destiny 1 right now, they are crazy. But abilities were hit twice. The damage they deal and their cooldowns. Both needed to be affected, for sure. But if they let grenades and melee recharge, I don't know, 10 seconds faster, I think that would be alright. Of course, there could be items in-game that enable faster ability regeneration, but we don't know they exist if they do indeed exist, and obviously we're not going to gain access to them in the beta. With regards to PvE, I'll reiterate that these changes make PvE a snooze fest compared to Destiny 1. And again, we don't know if gear and weapons will make our cooldowns resolve faster, but if there aren't items that do such a thing, then I think that would be a shame for the PvE scene. Having to wait over a minute for my grenade to come back is really, really boring gameplay-wise. So I hope we get some PvE changes with regards to that. I really want to see my super more often in PvE. In PvP, I think boosting the super recharge rate just the slightest would be nice to enable people to get their supers more towards the middle of a match as opposed to right at the very end. Most matches I played resulted in getting my super towards the end, and I never felt like I got to use it, but rather I got the feeling that I had to use it before time ran out so that I wouldn't waste it. You could say that the theme of Destiny 2 is about, regaining your light and surviving the world with the situation that has happened. I don't really feel like that's great for gameplay, though. But overall, the beta is just the beta. It's fun, but I don't really have any extensive thoughts on any particular activity or any particular thing besides ability, energy, regeneration. There isn't really enough there to come to any sort of conclusions on anything in particular. It's fun to play, it's a taste of the game, but that's all that it is. Would I have liked more? Sure. Am I okay with them locking off basically everything for the main game? Absolutely. But it is what it is, and those are my first impression beta thoughts. I don't suspect them changing too much, if at all. If you have something in particular you would like me to talk about, or something in particular that you would like me to do a video on, drop it in the comments. But I'm going to get back to playing some more beta. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.